that you make it, and maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking.
Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Neat Glass sponsored Whiskey Tangent Podcast's Whiskey Madness 2023, The Road to the Final Pour. A 4-week-long blind tasting tournament featuring 16 whiskeys from around the world. I'm Scott, and joining me, as always, is Ed.
Hello, everybody.
And back refereeing again, Sherpa Gabe.
What's up, friends?
And we are, of course, sitting in the nifty, neat glass-shaped Whiskey Tangent Arena in enchanting downtown Marlton, New Jersey, where last week we witnessed not 1, not 2, but 3 upsets. 1 in the 120 proof bracket, 2 in the 90 proof bracket, with both number 4 seeds moving on to next week.
Stunning.
But today is round 2, and the crowd is simply apoplectic with expectation because we have 8 new whiskeys competing in the first set of matchups in the 100 proof and 110 proof brackets. And Ed's here to reveal the names of all the spirits who today are aiming to make their Whiskey Madness wishes come true.
I have to tell you, quite a few of these have never been on the podcast before. I'm just going to say that.
Yes, we had 8 total, and most of them are in these 2 brackets.
Yeah, I really think so.
Yeah.
So starting out in the 100 proof bracket, 100 to 109, the top seed will be the Remus Repeal Reserve Series 6.
Yeah.
It's a bourbon. The number 2 seed will be a whiskey that I think has the chops to maybe take the whole thing if it can survive today. The Four Roses Small Batch Select Bourbon.
Yeah.
Lovely.
The 3rd seed is a bottle and bond that's near and dear to a lot of people's heart, the Old Tub.
Old Tub.
Made by that classic distillery.
Jim Beam.
That's right, the Beam Suntory Old Tub, bottom shelf, bargain, bottle and bond.
Yeah,
lots of B's for your alliteration.
It's a lovely bottle for the price.
And an unknown to me, the Underdog First Call Cask Strength Bourbon. It was a 4 seat of the 100 to 109 proof bracket. Gabe brought this one. This is a piney pick.
This was picked up at Total Wine up in Cherry Hill. It's one of their store picks. They're sourced brands.
Yeah, there's an interesting story behind that when we get to the matchup.
I did taste 2 of the versions of this before I bought it, and this was a lovely little number. I'm pleasantly surprised for the price. It was about $33, $35.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And the Old Tub's only in the 20s. So
yeah, we get some cheap options here.
Yeah, so the 110 to 119 proof, and we definitely stretched the limits on this one. We'll tell you about that in a minute. The top seed is the Old Ezra Rye, which was on the podcast this year.
Yes.
Then the 2nd seed is Smoke Wagon Malted Rye, also on the podcast. Then we have the Koval Cask Strength Single Barrel Bourbon.
You said Koval again.
Oh, you're right. I like to put an R in it. So for the people at Koval, I'm sorry the way that I want to put an R in it. I think I'm thinking of Korbel, the champagne.
I think you are. I think there's
and it keeps playing in my mind.
Stuck in your
head. For the same reason I say Henry Hill instead of Heaven Hill for the, there's so many things that I get stuck in my head instead of Heaven Hill Distillery. So the Koval Cask Strength Single Bourbon, which Scott can either use a clean version of me saying it or have this whole mess in and embarrass me once again that I can't speak. And then finally, the 4th seed is the Blue Note Uncut Bourbon, which snuck into the bracket at a lofty 119.5.
Just under the radar.
Right in the parameter.
Right.
I saw them like adding some water from like a Poland Springs bottle right before the testing.
A spigot outside the stadium.
Just like 10 or 12 drops in the bottle just to get it in.
Like a wrestler trying to make weight, like taking all his clothes off.
Exactly. And so that's what we're looking at for this bracket.
Quick question here. On this bracket here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you have a hard time figuring out the seatings? These are all very close.
This is 110 was the hardest.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great question, Gabe.
Because they're all pretty much small distilleries.
Malted Rye is a new expression for them, so it doesn't have a lot of time in the game. And I think the Koval, just not a lot of people know about it. And the mash bill of this one's actually very interesting, which we'll talk about when we get to it.
Right.
And once again, this is interesting with the Malted Rye, the Uncut Bourbon,
and
another rye. So that's a weird mash bill bracket. While I think the top one's all bourbons. So
right. Well, we'll have Gabe move over to the preparation area and pour the first round, which is Four Roses Single Barrel Select versus Old Tub Bottled and Bond.
I said I got this, none of this radio pop. pop shit. I drop this, turning back the clock to rock shit. I cop it, said knock knock, I'm on this. I'm hot bitch, like a hot bitch, the top I lock in, I got this. Radio drop this, hot shit, just watch this. I fucking promise, so lit, do not miss your chance to cop this. Will you capture it, or just let it slip?
Okay, so we're back for the first matchup today. The Four Roses Small Batch Select Bourbon, the second seed, is about to take on Old Tub. And I'm going to tell you about the Four Roses. One of the most interesting whiskeys on the market, in my opinion, mainly because of how Four Roses uses their yeast strains to make 10 unique bourbon recipes with 2 mash bills, and they blend them all together. The regular small batch has 4 of 10. This has 6 of 10. So the mash bills are, one is 75% corn, 20% rye, and 5% malted barley. The other one's 60% corn, 35% rye, and 5% malted barley. It's about $60, 104 proof. It's got a real classic nose, according to Breaking Bourbon, of sweet vanilla, cinnamon, some oak bark. The palate, they said there's a slight layer of ethanol present, but not with our neat glasses. As we know, the neat glass will remove that for us. And if you haven't got your neat glasses yet, please go to neatglass.com, put in the code WhiskeyTan, and get your 10% off, as so many people have done. But anyway, it's one of the most unique whiskeys on the market because it blends in 6 of 10 separate recipes and really helped Scott and I, when we did the Four Roses episode and we learned about their yeast strains, how important yeast is into what you're tasting. Probably the least thought of thing by the consumer.
Definitely.
And it's what makes Four Roses one of the most unique things. So I really think that based on the 104 proof, based on the blend of 2 different mash bills, Scott and I love to blend stuff together anyway.
Yeah.
In other words, this can be crafted by the master distiller to taste how they want it to taste. And
Right.
so I think that gives it an advantage. It's not the only blend, though. The Remus is a blend as well. We'll talk about that when we get to that one. But that's the Four Roses small batch. I talked a bit on it because I think it has the chops to take the whole thing. But normally when I say that, it doesn't last long.
Well, actually, I agree with you because it's going up against the Old Tub Bottled in Bond bourbon. This mash bill is the 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley, the classic Jim Beam mash bill. The proof is 100, of course, because it's bottled in Bond. It has to be at least 4 years aged. The price of this is like $25, or you can even see it cheaper.
Yeah, I've seen it cheaper, yep.
It has a pretty interesting history because in 1892, when James and Parkbeam took over operations from their dad, they named the family distillery after their then best-selling bourbon brand, Old Tub. So this was a long-time pre-prohibition brand. It was discontinued in 1943, but in recent years, the company revived the brand to sell it in half-bottle sizes at their gift shop in Claremont, Kentucky. But in June 2020, they decided to go nationwide with the regular 750 milliliter bottle. So this is actually a pretty recent introduction to the rest of the country. Tasting notes are sweet oak, vanilla grain, a hint of peaches, and green peppercorn with vegetal and leather undertones, finishing with a nutty, oaky rye spice medley.
By the way, I didn't mention that all of the whiskeys in the small batch select are 6 to 7 years aged.
Oh,
okay.
All right. So I'm going to be brutally honest here.
Yeah.
I don't think Old Tub has a chance.
Right. I mean, if you're looking at it on paper, they don't.
So I've had Four Roses before, but never the select. At least not that I can remember. I've definitely had single barrels, and I've had the regular small batch. And those are delicious. But the Old Tub, at its price point, it just screams to me that it's Jim Beam white label proofed up to 100.
Yeah.
So I think Old Tub has a steep hill to climb.
I got to tell you, though, you think that, but you might be surprised. For being a bottled in Bond, it does have a little bit of a kick to it in that 100 proof spot.
Sure.
So you might be a little undecided when you do taste it.
I might be.
Well, we got 8 whiskeys here as we kick this off. 4 matchups, and the first one's coming, and Gabe's handing us the glasses. Glass A is over.
Right.
And here comes the bees.
Wow, they smell similar.
Oh, they do smell similar.
It's really crazy.
And they're pretty subtle.
Yep. Telling you, it's not going to be as clear cut as I
Very
think you guys.
traditional noses for both of them. Like
Okay.
very traditional bourbon. Oak, vanilla, caramel. Like exactly what you think a bourbon's going to smell like.
I definitely get some peanuts on A in the scent.
Okay.
And that should bring you back to what you were describing, the one brand base expression.
Yeah, and B smells a little hotter. But they both have wonderful noses.
Yeah.
That's
And the color is very similar, too. One's slightly lighter, but they're both pretty deep.
You're right. A is a little bit lighter. Ooh.
I've tasted them. They're different.
How about, you got water? Did you want to put a little water in there? Or not disproofing? Does it matter?
I mean, just a little bit. At 100, 104, I don't need a lot, but to see if it opens anything up.
It's our first drink of the night, too, so it's going to taste a
we
little
didn't
hotter.
we didn't even
than
pregame
normal.
today, which is weird for us, but we just got into it.
Yeah, well, I think we pre-gamed about 1:30 last Saturday, and it's still hurting.
Yeah, I was serving up Scotthattans at 1:30 in the morning because Javon.
Well, the water helps a lot.
Yeah, A tasted like kind of a bitter peanut brittle. Like peanut brittle with no sugar in it is what it
burnt,
tasted. A little bit.
A little overcooked.
Oh, yeah. Much improved with a little bit of water in A. Tastes really hot, though.
Could it be your first one of the night, making you just opening the palate to...
It could, because the B tastes pretty hot, too.
Ed has his selection in.
Oh, man.
Scott's.
Well, it wasn't even close for me, this one.
Yeah.
For me, I would say it was clearly the finish that took the day.
Yeah.
One was clearly better.
Okay, you both selected B.
Yeah. And
Which was...
Four Roses.
Four Roses.
Yes, it was, without a doubt. It was a delicious finish. It was sweet and peppery. My mouth is still kind of tingling from it.
And, just to stave off some of accusations of bias, I didn't think Old Tub was going to have a chance. And then I was pretty much able to tell which one was Old Tub. And yet, if it actually was good, if it actually had some extra flavor besides bitter peanut brittle, I would have picked it.
I'm glad I sipped the Old Tub first, which is what I ended up doing because it happened to be A.
Yeah.
I didn't think, wow, this is a great whiskey. I'm like, okay. Then I took the second one, the B, and I was like, oh, wow, this is a really nice whiskey. Yeah. And that was my first impression before I did anything else. Then I added water, and water did help Old Tub.
Yes.
Old Tub's a little rawer, and the water definitely helped Old Tub.
I would add even more water than I did.
Yeah.
To my,
what are you drinking?
I got the Four Roses.
Right. Have you sipped it yet?
I did.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
For 104, it comes off about 114.
Yeah, that's pretty hot, too. That's what I was saying.
But I think that's because the yeast is so spicy that they use.
Could be.
It's spicy.
So spicy.
Yeah, and a couple drops of water really just mellow it out. Still has heat.
The Four Roses coach, he didn't get off the bench. He knew what was going to happen here.
And let's be fair to Old Tub. It's a $20 whiskey.
It's 1/3 the price.
It's 100 proof. I'm tasting it again.
Yeah.
I do get a little bit of cinnamon on the end. Yeah. It's a little more syrupy and sugary when you add water to it, which is really strange. But you're only proofing it down to maybe a 95.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not terrible.
No.
For the price.
For the price, it's
great.
actually very good. I mean, if you're drinking Evan Williams Bottle and Bond at 20, this is in that ballpark. It's another Bottle and Bond in the cheap. You can make cocktails with it.
Exactly.
All right, so that round's done. We're going to wash these glasses, and we're going to come back where the Remus Repeal Reserve Series 6 Bourbon will take on the Upstart Total Wine Store Pick First Call Cask Strength Bourbon. 1 versus 4 when we return.
Slow, and we gon' make it out this hole, and ain't nobody stopping us, no. So watch me as I go, watch me as I grow, and we ain't gonna take it slow, and we gon' make it out this hole, and ain't nobody stopping us, no. So watch me as I go, watch me as I grow, yeah, I'm the fucking shit.
All right, the next two are in the arena. Woo! They're warming up. And the Ross and Squibb Distillery, a.k.a. MGP.
Right.
And if you haven't been paying attention, the George Remus that you can see for about $42 in your store, that's one of the base expressions. The Rossville Union Rye, regular, and the Cask Strength. Yeah. And to celebrate their awesomeness, they came out with the Remus Repeal series, and this is the 6th. They've been doing this since 2017. So real quick, it's 100 proof, but it's not bottle and bond. In fact, it's far from it. It's a blend of several whiskeys, ranging in ages from 8 to 14 years. Breaking the mash bill down from the blend, the Whiskey Shelf did the math to figure out what the composite mash bill will be from all of the 6 different batches.
I did too. Let's see if we come up with the same.
68.7 corn.
Oh, I didn't do points.
27.3 rye, 4% barley.
It was very close. 68, 27, and 5.
Oh, right.
I assumed 5%.
Right. That's fine.
Malted barley.
Good job.
Thank you.
And so the breakdown of them is 2% of it comes from a 2008 bourbon, which is 21% rye. It's 14 years old. That's only 2%. I guess it's a big 2%. 27% is a 2012 bourbon that's 21% rye. That's 10 years old. 17% would be a different mash bill that had 36% rye in it and was 10 years old as well. 29% was, again, the 21% rye, but only 8 years old. And then finally, 25% was a 36% rye that's also 8 years old. So that's what we're dealing with here. It's right on the front of the label. It's not hard to find. They're very transparent. And the Remus 5 is one of the best whiskeys that Scott and I ever had. We had it on the Doug's Vault episode.
Yeah.
That's why it's a top seed here. It's $100 a bottle, and it's going against an unknown. Once again, something that came in 33% of the price of it. And I can't wait to hear about what that mash bill is, Scott.
So you said how transparent Remus was
Yeah.
at MGP. This is the opposite. So it's a cask strength Kentucky straight bourbon. The proof is 107.2. The mash bill is not disclosed. The age is not stated, but it's supposed to be at least 3 years. 3-ish. The price is only like $40. Now, the distiller is some entity called IJW Whiskey in Danville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Whiskey Advocate called IJW Kentucky's most mysterious bourbon producer in a January 2021 article. And they are so mysterious that they don't even have a website. They do, because I went to it, but basically it's a picture of their black rick houses and the words website coming soon.
It's probably been there for like 5 years, right?
Yes. So I don't want to get too much into their history and the people involved, because maybe one day we might do an episode on them down the line.
Sure.
Because it's kind of weird and interesting. But they apparently began laying down whiskey in 2016 and have over 100,000 barrels maturing in their 4 Danville rickhouses. The whiskey in those barrels includes bourbon, rye, wheat whiskeys with over 40 different variants encompassing differences in grain, yeast, fermentation time, barrel type, barrel entry proof, and other variables. They plan to release their own bottling soon, but in the meantime, they are creating whiskeys for other brands, including this one made exclusively for Total Wine and Spirit stores.
Interesting.
So, Gabe, you actually tasted this in the store.
Yes.
Yeah. What were your tasting notes? Because I couldn't really find them except for theirs, and they're just generic.
I believe they had like 2 of these bottles out in different proofings,
Okay.
and I was pleasantly surprised. You know, you had your basic vanilla caramel notes, but
Yeah.
it had a bit more sweetness right off the bat. And I wanted to bring something that was an unknown.
Yeah.
Well, you did that.
Did you taste both of them?
I did, yeah. And I like this one better.
Was the other one lower proof?
Yeah, it didn't fit the bracketing, so that's why I kind of picked this one.
And so this is 107. So it's going to have the proof advantage, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So the reason why it's called First Call is that's the term in horse racing. Like it's like get to the post and start that race.
Yeah.
If we were at the betting track, what were the odds you put on First Call? I'd put 101 odds.
Well, I wouldn't go that much because anything can happen in the moment, but I would say at legit horse racing odds, I would say 27-1.
Yeah.
And I thought it was First Call, as in last call is the last drink you have of the night, and they wanted this to be the first drink I have. And I have to tell you, I think it should go in reverse. I would rather start with Remus and finish with this when my taste buds are kind of eroded.
Right.
Given your backstory of what you just, the bottle I picked, I'm looking forward to this company and seeing what they produce when their stuff matures.
Yeah.
It sounds like they have a lot in the well that they're going to be
Let's not talk a lot of shit on it in case it embarrasses us and beats Remus.
That's true.
We have plenty of time to talk shit on it after it loses and not before, because I've been here for a lot of what did we just pick moments during Whiskey Madness. Gabe liked it enough in the middle of a store to bring it here, so I'm going to give this a little bit of credence that it's going to not just shit the bed.
Sure. All right.
Here we go.
Here's A's.
Here comes A.
Here's B.
Oh my God.
Oh.
The nose is completely different.
Very similar on color.
Very similar. A is a little darker,
What
I'd
the hell
say.
is that on B?
Yeah, B is a weird note, almost like cheese.
You're saying cheese. I'm thinking like almost like hot tar or something.
For those of you who can't see, Ed just kind of like closed up a nostril like he was doing a line.
Smells to me like dairy, like not spoiled dairy or anything. It just has like a dairy.
That's what you get
Like
off
a
of B.
like
I'm
a
getting something
creaminess?
so much herbaceous off, and I'm not getting any dairy at all. I don't know what you're talking about?
Yeah. So
You're confusing me.
it just came to me. The smell.
Okay.
It smells like the dairy case when you're working in the back of a grocery store.
I worked dairy. I worked dairy in a grocery store for a couple years. Yeah.
Like a sweet creaminess,
Yeah,
possibly.
it's like a sickly sweet, but somehow
It's
like a touch of bitterness.
Yeah, a tiny bit of sourness to it.
Right.
like the milk on the floor that nobody bothered cleaning up.
Yeah, but it's
Mixed with-
cold, so it doesn't really smell all that much, but it has a dairy kind of smell.
Yeah, interesting.
That's what I'm getting off of
No,
B.
no, that's fine. Hey,
weird.
You don't need to explain to me when I come off with fresh Band-Aids out of a tin
That's
from
right.
Johnson & Johnson. I mean, you get what you get.
Oh, almost a little bubble gum, too.
But I have to tell you, Band-Aid's not crazy on this.
All right, I haven't even tasted them yet. I'm just so involved with the news.
Man, B is so weird. A is very traditional.
Ed's now bringing his selection down, I believe. But then again, how about some
Started.
water?
I've just started.
Okay, the B is strange.
Strange.
It has a spicy bubble gum.
I'm getting
what are you getting?
vinyl and leather.
Really?
And, yeah, it's like I'm getting so much like tobacco, but wet tobacco. It's really weird.
A is much more traditional. It's nice and heated. There's cinnamon and pepper. Tastes a bit like a rye.
A couple of their mash bills had 36% rye, and the rest had 20 something.
Right.
So
If that's the Remus, right? Yeah, the other
I
one.
have to believe it's a Remus because
And the other one's so strange. I kind of like it though. But what's weird is you're not tasting what I'm tasting on it.
no,
That's why we do the competitions.
All right, I did get a little bit of vinyl now because I took a bigger sip.
Did you put water in them?
No, I haven't put water in.
Give that a shot. Maybe that'll skew the results a little bit. Maybe it'll open up some different tasting notes for you.
Man, Ed just slammed his. I like it. I like the decisiveness.
Ed looks constipated, like he's not sure what he wants to think.
I took a sip of A, and B jumped off my tongue and just snuck it. They're fighting on my tongue right now. It's like,
B-
no, get out of your A.
B is very strong in that potent. I mean, it's not heat-wise so much, but it's potency of
It's
flavor.
on my tongue. I can't get it off.
And it's weird flavors.
Would you call it like having an oily mouthfeel?
No, it's more like Velcro. Like it's like it won't get off my tongue. It's like
You really have to pull hard.
It's like, let me taste something else. Let me live.
Oh my gosh, what are those flavors?
This is great.
My goodness.
This is, I love the bewildered look on both of your faces.
I did get an herbaceous sort of tobacco thing too on B. I'm going to go back to A.
Ed has handed in his selection. Scott is contemplating still.
B after A is weird.
Oh my God, yeah, that's what I had to get more.
Yeah.
Because I drank A after B and finished it, and I couldn't taste the A. The B was still there, like beating the crap out of the A. It's such a very strong flavor.
And then I took B by itself. I drank some water, and then B is a little less strange, but still odd. And then A after B makes A taste amazing.
Somehow I've had 4 whiskeys today and it's burped up B.
Oh, Scott made his selection.
I don't think I've ever had 2 more different
Oh, they're
whiskeys
so different.
in a round before. And they're both bourbons. One's a little higher proof, but they're both within 7 of each other.
Just the diversity of flavor between the two.
I mean, it's what's better tasting, not what's most interesting.
Right.
Okay, now we're going to reveal. The 1 seed is moving on.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
You both picked the Remus, the
Okay.
A.
Okay.
The A.
And we didn't talk about it a lot, by the way, everybody. We were focused on B so
No,
much.
there was a
But
lot of high contemplation in
A
your-
was delicious. It was oak and caramel vanilla. It's the way you want a well-crafted blended bourbon to taste. I cannot wait to see the Four Roses versus the Remus because I think they are from the same cloth, man. They're both blends.
Yeah.
Both have, I think, 6 different
Yeah,
components in them.
That's going to be difficult.
That is going to be a hell of a final for this bracket. Remus, the 1, Four Roses, the 2. So for the first time, the 1 and the 2 moved on.
Yes.
Now, I think real quick, we should taste the Old Tub versus the First Call and just see what we think.
Really?
Why not? Do we think First Call is better than the Old Tub? We can do it. We're not doing anything else tonight. We can do it.
Okay.
Let's do it right now.
Exhibition round.
All right, so out in the parking lot, on their way to the buses, Old Tub and First Call found a couple of outside parking lot hoops, and they had a little bit of an exhibition. Yeah. And we just want to see, between the 3 and the 4, who would win. If this was, a round,
Yeah.
how would they do against each other? So we got a little bit of Old Tub in A, and we got a little bit of the First Call in B. So it's not a blind one. We're just going to compare the two as we normally do on like a quick taste and all. So
Yeah.
the Old Tub first. Very peanutty.
So much peanuts. Like it's almost like peanut butter now.
And the First Call.
Oh my God. So no.
When you follow the Old Tub.
Oh, awful.
So, yeah.
That was horrifying.
The peanut butter flavor of the A, and then you get the vinyl road tar that I get from B.
Or the bubblegum clove that I was getting.
That's it, right.
Whatever the fuck I was tasting.
It definitely doesn't follow the Old Tub well at all.
Oh God.
I think
These both taste terrible.
Right, because now you're trying to drink after the B, you go back to A. If I had to put a nod, I'd probably go Old Tub. If I had to
Yeah, I would go Old Tub.
I think First Call is something you drink by yourself up in a mountain near a stream with birds chirping and there's nothing else around. And then you're like, wow, this is a great whiskey.
Are there horned goats standing on rocks?
There are, yes.
Close by?
Yes.
Right. Nothing else complements First Call.
No, you absolutely have to drink it by itself.
And that's all you drink that day.
Yeah. Don't have anything else.
No.
Don't even have water.
Don't even eat that day. You could drink on an empty stomach.
Don't have a bowel movement, nothing.
Can you shower?
No. No. Absolutely not. It'll come out of your pores and poison.
Wow, the visual of that, stunned me.
Though the exhibition,
like sonic boom coming through.
The exhibition was a terrible idea, and it was all my idea.
Oh, it's fun.
And it might be cut. We never know.
No.
Well, now both buses are leaving, and they know they're out of the tournament.
They actually tied 23-23. It's a sad thing. Like they got back on their buses in disgrace. But of course, the old tub bus is really nice because it's like a coach bus with TVs.
Yeah.
Because it's like from Beams from Tory. Meanwhile, like first calls on this lacked out van, like the A-team.
They found the old Partridge Family bus. Just got some black spray paint and
Hey,
got most of
everybody
it.
is home that we're singing.
All right, so we're getting to the second round. The 110 to 119. I didn't know you were taking it that far.
Neither did I.
It's not like you guys. To go overboard.
No.
Danny Bonaducci, everybody. So so when we come back, the next bracket, 110 to 119, you're going to have the Smoke Wagon, Malted Rye, the second seat, against the Koval, Cask Strength, Single Barrel Bourbon,
Exciting.
the third seat. And these two are very weird, very different. And unlike the other bracket, I'll be surprised if we get through these two without a tie.
Agreed. Be right back.
I'm the type of dude who will not remain nameless. I'm the type of dude who is headed for greatness. I'm the type of dude who could really make changes. Cause I'm the type of dude that's becoming contagious. I'm the type of dude that will always be ageless. I'm the type of dude that will always feel shameless. I'm the type of dude that they say is fucking heinous. Cause I'm the type of dude that you know is fucking dangerous.
All right, we are back with Smoke Wagon versus Koval, and I have some information on the Smoke Wagon.
Yes, tell us about it. So I love the company. We had the Smoke Wagon rye, just the regular rye, this fall. That was just amazing.
Yeah, and that was the 51% rye, 49% corn.
Yeah.
This is a malted rye whiskey. It's 51% rye, 49% malted barley.
Yeah.
So it's very different. The proof is 119.36. Again, just squeaking in. The age is not stated. The price is about $80. Distiller, bottler is Nevada H&C Distilling in Las Vegas, Nevada.
The home of the neat glass, by the way.
Yes, and they source mostly, I think, MGP stuff. So, fun facts, we featured this on a short with the Whiskey Chicks just last month, and I bought it by accident looking for the regular Smoke Wagon rye that we just talked about for Ed for Christmas. The tasting notes are creamy and viscous with rich caramel, clove, stone fruit, and rye, followed by peppermint, ginger, creamy malt, and allspice.
They will be paying a small licensing fee for viscous to barrel spirits for the use of an unnecessary tasting note.
Viscous.
The Koval single barrel cask strength has a very interesting mash bill. It's 51% corn, which is not very interesting. However, 49% millet is the second grain.
Millet.
So the Koval bourbon offers a drinking experience that is balanced, approachable, and unparalleled. Excellent for both sipping, cocktailing, and just slamming it into your face to help your skin. You don't know what that means. You should be a more regular listener. Ooh. So the unusual deep cut there. So this is what it says. Unusual grain combination combines for notes of mango chutney and vanilla on the palate and a peppery caramel finish.
Another weird one.
Yeah, this specific release has been bottled at 110 proof for a more intense, intriguing drinking experience. And we're going to see if that drinking experience can upset the number 2 Smoke Wagon.
Yeah, so what's really cool about this matchup is that for, I think, possibly the first time ever, we have 2 whiskeys that don't have any grains in common.
Yes.
Wow.
We have a 51% rye, 49% malted barley.
Oh, shit.
And 51% corn, 49% millet.
Right.
Can we give a little background on millet? Is that made for like in breakfast cereals or what is that?
It's
Is it
another
bread?
type of grain.
That's a very unusual grain to be bringing up.
It's not much used.
It's a good question. Why are there not cereals and bread and oatmeal with millet? Or is there and we just don't know? Are we not healthy enough to enjoy millet?
Is millet like a secondary grain in some of these more popular cereals that just doesn't really go above the radar that we really should really care about?
I mean, there's all kinds of, there's like farro and
highly varied.
and
It's a highly varied group of small seeded grasses widely grown around the world as cereal crops and grains for fodder, feeding both animals and humans. They're actually very famous for semi-arid tropics of Asia and Africa, especially South India, Mali, Nigeria, and Niger.
Maybe that's possibly why it's not very well known
right,
here.
So 97% of the millet production is in developing countries.
Okay.
A poor man's wheat, we'll call it.
Very
And
interesting.
it's going to definitely put an interesting note on it. Along with the malted rye, I'm expecting both of these to taste very unique.
Yeah, this is a total crapshoot for me.
I have no idea. I was going to say, I have no idea who could win. This is probably the most wide open one. We've had two pretty heavy favorites.
Yeah, and I've had both of these before because I had the single barrel over at your house, the Koval, and I had the Smoke Wagon here on the podcast.
Yeah, but I can't.
But just going from memory,
Yep.
I mean, I don't really know. And the fact that they're going to be so different in grain profile is intriguing.
I've had them both too. I have not had the Koval in over a year. So let's see. We're ready whenever Gabe's ready to present us with the glasses. He's giving us glass A.
Ooh, nice.
Nose is interesting. It's very strong.
Here comes the bees.
Very fruity vanilla I got off A. Oh, different. Like almost like a peppermint off a B. Minty, I would say.
Once again, the color of these are very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
What are you getting on the nose, guys?
I mean, like I said, fruity vanilla on A.
Yeah.
It's very vanilla.
Very vanilla. Vanilla bomb almost.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit like a caramel. And there's a little bit of spice. Mm-hmm. Black pepper.
How about B?
Yeah. It has a minty spice kind of character to it. Oh, they smell delicious. I'm wrapped up in the smells today.
Both of these have tremendous noses, which you would expect with complex mash bills.
Ooh, that's good.
And they're both high proof, right?
Yes.
Oh, man, that is spicy. B is spicy.
God, B is.
A is terrific.
Hey, here's a good
I
idea.
tried
Why
B
don't you put
first.
some water in there and see what happens?
Don't be so bossy.
I mean, let us try it
It
first.
was just an idea. I just wanted to just kind of float that out there for shits and giggles. See what happens. You never know. You could be pleasantly surprised.
I'm definitely putting water in them.
I am.
They're both-
I am as well.
They're both.
Wow.
Despite Gabe.
So
Yeah.
wow. See, you always listen to me. I don't steer you
Is
wrong.
it why is Gabe talking? Is it a tie? I didn't hear that it was a tie.
Somewhere the Pawnees are getting their torches lit and their pitchforks sharpened up.
They shut off the podcast.
We're going to shut that ad up real good.
They brought the battery out of the trailer, put it into the car so they can start up and come up this way.
The battery.
Right.
There's only one.
Only one. Oh, so now I'm getting some more tobacco kind of notes on A that I wasn't getting originally.
Man, A's a good whiskey.
Really
but it's
good.
different than B for sure. These are two completely different whiskeys.
Yeah, B is potent.
This is a coin flip right here. This might be a tiebreaker coming up.
This has been the hardest one to decipher
by far. This
in
is-
the entire tournament so far.
I would drink either one of these,
depending
on my mood. Man, I am getting a lot of leather and herbaceous notes.
Like your dungeon.
Pepper, spicy, like the gimp mass that you bite through when I tie you up.
Yeah, A is really complex because you do. Oh my God. You do get a sweetness, but it does transition into a more leathery, spicy
And the
profile.
sweet's gone real quick for me.
Yeah.
While B, the sweetness lasts a little bit longer, but then the finish is this explosion of spice and pepper and mint and
Yeah, the finish of B, I agree, is very strong. Woo! Like every time I drink it, and even with water in it, it lingers. Holy damn.
Are you putting a picture of which bottle you think is which? Or
I mean, I'm trying not to, especially with this one because they're
really not.
They're very close.
Okay.
I mean, if I had to choose because I know one's a bourbon and one's a rye, I would choose which one. But I'm just going to choose the one that I really enjoy.
it's really close.
Right now.
I made my choice. I think this could be different tomorrow. They're that close, but I made my choice on what I feel like today.
Yeah, I really like them both.
I like them both a
Yeah.
lot. They both have a place on my shelf.
Okay, both picks are in here. We're going to reveal.
All right,
All
so the
right,
picks
Gabe.
are in. Will the Smoke Wagon or the Koval move forward?
Look who's going to be drinking.
All
Oh,
right.
shit.
Our first tie. I predicted we are going to have a tie in this round. So
Scott picked A.
Yeah. Get out. You pick B? Wow.
What do you think you picked, Scott?
I think A was the Koval.
You're right.
and I picked the Smoke Wagon.
And
you
you're
picked
right.
the Smoke Wagon.
And
yeah.
I'm going to break the tie.
All right.
All right, that's great.
Overtime. Okay, so Gabe is about to pick either the Smoke Wagon Malted Rye versus the Koval Cask Strength Single Barrel Bourbon with Millet.
I'm passing him the A, and I'm passing him the B.
Millet be a hard decision.
Wow.
That is so bad. Oh my God, with the traffic.
Oh, A on the nose. It's very basic, vanilla, caramel, very pleasant. B has a different nosing. It's sweeter, more sugary vanilla,
Oh, interesting.
more vegetal. So I'll give them a taste, and you guys will wait.
Take your time, Gabe.
It's called editing. I do it a lot.
If I'm laughing, I'm not tasting.
Just taking longer. It's more I can cut, bitch. I still have some in mind I'm going to be tasting along with Gabe.
A has a nice, like, light milk chocolateness to it. Like, not something you chew, but already liquidy in your mouth. Already warm and luscious.
Wow. Pikachu. Yeah.
Warm and luscious?
I'll Pikachu in the shower.
What kind of porn do you watch? Pokemon porn.
B is really different. It's really a lot fruitier. It's got more of a candy taste to it.
Okay.
This is tough. They're both very good.
They are really good. Very different. Very good. I agree.
Yeah, I'm drinking them side by side with Gabe, but I may or may not have the same ones that he does, but I'm just tasting them again. They're just both delicious.
They're both very good. I'm going to pick B because I think B has just a little bit more panache to it. There's something about it sweeter. It's more lingering. It's got a little bit more of a burn in a good way.
Okay. And B is...
The Smoke Wagon. Malted rye is moving forward.
Oh, wow. Alrighty.
It is the second seed, and it was a favorite, and that has continued the trend of the favorites winning today, which is not like it was in round one.
It was not.
So Gabe and me will switch places, and we'll come into the last round of today. The Old Ezra Rye, number 1, versus the Upstart, 4th seed, Blue Note, Uncut Bourbon.
All right. Be right back.
Yeah. We're just getting started. I know that you want it, baby. Just get on it, ready to go. We know how to party. Pull out the Bacardi, feel it in my body. Put on a song. Yeah, let's go. Nah, we ain't never gonna slow down. All the girls looking hot like a hoe down. Everybody going off in my hometown, ready for a showdown. Keep it on the low now. We about to pop off like a bottle. Everybody knows that we're going full throttle. Drinking alcohol, yeah, straight from the nozzle. End of the night, end up horizontal.
All right, everybody, with the last whiskey of the round. I know it's. Don't worry, everybody.
Off air.
We will drink more after we're done this. We'll drink all the losers until they're empty. But anyway,
oh my God.
So the top seed, the Old Ezra Rye, which it's a top seed because Old Ezra has never let us down. With a regular 114 bourbon, they came out with a rye. It's a 7-year. It features 2 mash bills, so it is a blend, okay? One is 51% rye, and the other one's 95% rye. And it comes in at 114 proof, 57 ABV. It's got some bourbon things going on. You know, it's vanilla and the honey and oaky tones. It's slightly sweet for a rye.
Yeah, it has a lot of corn.
But it does finish with some spice and tobacco, and I think that people are going to like it. I think it's going to definitely get a following, and we'll see if it can hold its top seed against a very high-proof Upstart, which Scott's going to tell us about right now.
Yeah, the Blue Note Uncut. So this is a cask strength Kentucky straight bourbon. Its mash bill is 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley. Its proof is 119.5. Age is 4 years. The price is $45. This is from Big River Distilling in Memphis, Tennessee. We covered this and its younger brother, the Juke Joint bourbon, just this past January in part 1 of our Whiskeymentary on tasting competitions. And it's a really cool backstory, which is basically this bourbon is what was left over after a rickhouse collapsed, and the barrels were just sitting out in the elements for months as the cleanup took place.
Yeah, and the sun and the rain and the snow and everything else.
It's a really cool story. So the tasting notes on this are supposed to be spicy and rich with flavors of chocolate fudge, coffee, black pepper, and cooked red fruits with a smooth finish of chocolate and almond.
And the Old Ezra Rye did appear on the...
with last matchup's winner.
Right.
The Smoke
the
Wagon.
Smoke Wagon on a...
short with the Whiskey Chicks. So this is another matchup, I think, like the previous one, where I have no idea how it's going to play out. Like, I've had both of these. I really like both of them. And my usual proclivity toward rye, you might think that I would prefer the Old Ezra, but just based on past experience, I might choose the bourbon.
Yeah, I mean, you do like the high proof, and this is the highest proof. So
I do.
We're ready to get into it?
I'm a big proof whore.
Yeah, you guys love both of these. So the last few months, the last few episodes, you guys love Blue Note. You love Ed's always big on the Old Ezra. You're going to have a tough time with this decision.
Yeah, this is another toughie because they're both very good.
Like I said, last 6 months came up and it bit you guys in the ass in a good way, and you're very pleasantly happy with pleasantly happy.
Pleasantly happy?
Is that an oxymoron?
Pleasantly pleased?
Could be.
That's
an
redundant.
Redundant.
It's redundant and alliterative.
Yes, you liked it. So we're gonna have a tough time with this one, and okay. You want a drink?
Just get
Scotty. Want a drink?
Yeah, Scotty want a drink.
Here's A. Here's B.
There The nose is sweeter on the B for sure.
Yeah, the B almost smells like a rum.
Oh my God, that's exactly very sugary. That's a great call, like a barrel-aged rum.
Yeah.
Barrel does a few of them, and so does Old Line down in Baltimore.
And A smells a little grassy. Yeah, vegetal. A little sweet, a little bit of spice, but yeah, B is definitely sweeter.
B has like fig or plum. There's a lot of fruit.
Yeah, definitely dark fruit.
I'm going to taste it now.
I, of course, was going to say cherry.
It's funny you bring up cherry. That's not usually one of my notes. It's
I know.
Funny how we go back to our staples of smelling.
We really do.
Individually.
Yeah. A had a weird flavor immediately, like a little sulfurous.
It's good, though.
Sulfurous. That's a new one.
Yeah. Wow. Like you lit a match and a bit of the smell after you light a match.
We know what sulfurous is, God.
Oh, my God.
My God, we're not,
that's actually phosphorus,
we're not
though.
stupid.
Actually.
You're fossilish with your old references.
Fossilish. I said phosphorus. You can't pronounce shit.
Phosphorus. Wow.
I intentionally said fossils. I know what you said.
Did you?
I know what phosphorus is.
Say Koval again.
Koval.
Oh.
Now say something in French.
Oh.
Fries.
Good one.
Grand Marnier.
Oh, pretty good.
Wow. All right.
All right.
Touche.
Wow. That just means Ed isn't drunk enough.
Touche.
Right, so
Touche.
I think we...
All right. Can we be serious?
I'm trying to taste
no,
the whiskey.
that's why we're here.
I want to have fun, too. So let me know if we're tasting whiskeys or Gabe's calling me a douche. One or the other. I can do either one.
Okay.
You can't do both at the same time?
I guess I can.
I believe it's the basis for the entire podcast. Drinking
That's
and
fair.
making jokes at the same time.
Can we get serious? Goddammit, it, this is science.
Oh, my God.
Science!
Good heavens, Miss Sakamoto. You're beautiful. All right. Let's get back to it.
Have we put water on their glasses, boys?
Not yet. Oh, wow. I got some weird flavors off of A just there. I've been getting weird flavors off of A this entire time. I said sulfurous. It's a little vinyl, leather, clovey.
That is really, really, really hard. But I made a decision based on last two sips.
Ed's selection has been made.
And B is caramely, definitely darker.
Scott is still under contemplation.
Ooh. I like A because it's so weird. Whereas on the B, I get very traditional, but also delicious. Deeper flavors than a regular bourbon. Caramels and brioche.
Oh.
I just made that up.
I was going to say.
Brioche.
Because it's a French word that Ed can't say.
Now I want a burger.
So now we're looking at like a bready feeling?
No, I was just kidding about that.
Okay, well, goddamn, get serious.
I know. Like creme brulee and brown sugar and...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting on that. So
on B you're saying, right?
Yeah. So I'm ready.
Right. Yeah, you swallow, sure. Yeah.
So I made a decision.
Oh, God.
I wrote it down. I'm about to hand it to God.
Thanks, you guys. Scott's got his decision, and we're going to
My guess is Gabe should taste these off air because I don't think he's going to have to break a tie.
No, you think
I think
chose
that
the right
one was clearly better, and I'll see if you agree.
We chose the same one, you're saying?
I think so.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, we will see.
It's unanimous.
It's unanimous decision.
It is.
Okay.
That, for you pinies, that means I both picked the same thing.
Right. And so we chose
You chose B.
B, and B was...
Old Ezra.
Oh, shit!
The 7-year-old rye, which came out 2 months ago.
I was actually not sure which one we picked.
I wasn't either. I thought I picked the Blue Note.
Yep, I thought maybe I was going to pick in the Blue Note because it did taste a little bit fiery, but I think the aging mattered. It was more finished and mature, and I think that it just blended better.
I'm flabbergasted because I thought B was the bourbon. And
Nope, it's the Old Ezra Rye.
Wow.
And I think it really is because it finished nicer. And I think when we talked about the Blue Note originally, that it was, I thought, hot for no reason.
Yeah.
And when I put water on this on the original episode where the Blue Note appeared, I liked it better.
Yeah.
I just didn't tonight. I put a few drops of water in each, but not enough to take the 119 down to anything significant.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? Because this was 119.5. It just got into the 110 to 119. Yeah. And if this was in the 120 proof category, maybe it would have done better. Maybe it would have moved on.
I don't know. There were some good ones up there. I think it would have got its ass kicked because it's just too immature. It's just immature.
It is. It's only 4 years.
Yeah, I think the higher the proof, the more your immaturity hurts you because the rawness is out there at a higher level.
Yeah.
All right, that's some high tech shit, right, for everybody. That's my high tech analysis. I think if you're going to come out with 3 or 4 year old spirit, be careful making it too hot because I think that your impurities show more when it's more intense.
Yeah.
So, Scott, tell everybody who's in.
All right. So round 3, March 18th, we will have in the 90 proof bracket the number 4 seed, the Redwood Empire Lost Monarch whiskey,
right,
going up against the number 3 seed, Journeyman Not a King rye.
Wow, that's crazy.
In the 120 and above proof,
right,
we're going to have the number 4 Old Line American Single Malt, which was fantastic.
Spectacular.
That's the dark horse
surprise of the tournament.
Yeah. Going against the number 2, also a bit of a surprise, the Nulu Single Barrel Bourbon. In the 100 proof that we just did today, we have the number 1 seed Remus Reserve Series 6 Bourbon going against the Four Roses Small Batch Select.
I could be anybody's game right there. They're both blends. They both have like 6 different mixes in there. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they were the number 2 seed. And then we have another number 1 and number 2 in the 110 proof bracket. We have the Old Ezra Rye and the Smoke Wagon Malted Rye, which were paired together on the episode that we did with the Whiskey Chicks.
Right. And I might go back and listen to see which one we thought we liked better then, because blind tasting them again, it could be a different result.
Gabe, did you taste these last 2?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of either of them?
Straight up, I think the Old Ezra was better, but I put water on it, and I think I would have changed my mind and gone with the blue note.
Oh, so
I agree.
After the water.
The blue note is better proof down. That's what I've been saying.
Something about a couple of drops just made it more distinctive. They're both very good.
Yeah.
Though. Very good.
Yeah. All these should be in my collection, and they all were in my collection.
Right.
Except for the Smoke Wagon Malted Wheat and the First Call. All of these came from my house.
Yeah, so that's
these
what
all came from my collection.
We literally go to Ed's apartment.
Right.
I sit down right next to his bourbon closet. We open it up, and then we just start pulling bottles out.
Because whatever I leave here from Scott's episodes get drank up. But I have so much whiskey that I usually end up forgetting. Like the Old Ezra hasn't been touched since we did the episode.
Well, we have more whiskey drinkers come here because we do the podcast.
Right. Of course, it's not just Scott.
It's not just me. I'm not an alcoholic, or am I?
Quick question, Ed. How is the regeneration of the liver coming in the lab?
3D printing. Yeah,
that's fine. We've made many mock plastic models of resin. Now we're waiting for the ability to clone me.
The science is not that far away.
It's not that far.
Don't give up hope.
I'm not. I'm hoping. Every day, I do at least 10 deep knee squats just to stay in shape so that there's time.
Which doesn't affect the liver at all.
Yeah, I like to do.
Do you?
I'd like to do. Yeah, I do 10 deep knee squats in a pickle patch, and then I go to
in a pickle patch. What the fuck is that happening?
Are you now in the garden?
It's not fun if you're not doing it in there.
All right, we're going to end this nonsense.
Nonsense. This is comic gold.
Okay.
Ed, take us out.
So round 2's over. We've had, I think, even a better experience than we had in round 1. These were great whiskeys.
Yeah, these are
They
awesome.
really fought each other. So tune in when the Elite 8 will move on to see who gets to be in the final pour.
All right, for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, I'm Scott.
I'm Ed.
I'm Gabe.
Cheers, everybody.
Later.
Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Yeah. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just fake it.